Good afternoon, buenas tardes, everybody. Welcome to the first webinar in 2022 from the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group. Before I go through the agenda and some housekeeping things, I just would like to highlight that this webinar is offering live interpretation into Spanish. So everybody who prefers Spanish, you can switch to this to the live interpretation in Spanish. Omar, could you just repeat this information for everybody who doesn't understood my English? Thank you.
Sí, muy buenos días. Para traducir lo que mencionaba Alex, es que esta presentación va a tener traducción en vivo en español, así que a aquellos que quieran utilizar la traducción, por favor, en la parte inferior pueden accesar a la traducción en español. Gracias.
Okay, so welcome everybody again to the first webinar of the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group. This webinar is being repeated in different time zones and as you notice in different languages, so that we reach the maximum of national societies on the globe. Before we continue, I just have a few housekeeping rules for you. So basically, the usual things: keep your microphone muted unless you're invited to ask a question. You can send messages to the chat box and at any time if you have a question, and we will try to answer the question during the webinar. And if this is not possible because we have too much to discuss or the question is too difficult for us, then we'll answer it in the FAQs on our technical working group website. Also, we will be doing some polls during the webinar, and this means that there will be questions popping up on your screen, and you will have a 1 minute to answer those questions. And in case you are screen sharing with, or you're sharing basically your computer with several persons in a room, it means that one person will have to lead to enter your joint answer, basically. Good, and without further ado, we'll dive right into the first poll, also to get a little bit the practicalities of polling. So I will open the poll with 2 questions. First question will be about your background, whether you're a wash practitioner, cash practitioner, or a cash and wash practitioner, or something else. Then we would like to hear from you to know if you heard before about the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group. So as I said, you will have 1 minute to vote, and once you're done with the voting, you could please write your name, position, and organization into the chat box. Thank you very much. So I start the poll right now. Good. I think now almost just 2 more people missing. Okay, I think that's fine. Here is the results. I hope you can see them. We have got half of the people are wash practitioners. Then there's 1 cash and wash practitioner combo. We have one wash practitioner and then a couple of other backgrounds. And about half of the people have already heard about the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group, which is nice that we got people who already know us, but it's at least as nice to have people here that have never heard of us before. So I hope this changes now with this webinar. Good. Thank you very much. We'll have a similar poll in the end of the webinar. I will quickly run you through the agenda so that you know what to expect from today. We've already done the introduction and the housekeeping. What we will do right after I walk you through the agenda, we will introduce the speakers. Yeah, then the first part of the webinar will be a presentation of the main achievements of the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group in 2021. We will then move on to the presentation of the different work streams that we have identified during our strategic roadmap development process that was part of our activities last year. And after that, we will present a new organizational model that we have in the technical working group and how you can engage with us. And we also hope to stimulate some of you to join our group. We will then finish it off with some questions and answers. If you have questions, there will be time for discussing them. Yeah, and that's basically the program. Let me then move over to introducing the speakers. So I will hand over to all the speakers so that they can introduce themselves. I start with Ludovic. Ludovic, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, Alexander, thank you. So I'm Ludovic Arnoux. I'm the WASH coordinator for IFRC for Asia Pacific region. And I'm also the co-chair of this technical working group since the beginning 1 year and a half ago. And today I will present the yearly report for 2021. Over to you, Alexander.
Thank you very much, Ludovic. Then Annika.
Hello, everyone. My name is Annika Smit, and I work for the Netherlands Red Cross as cash focal point. Currently also focused on the setup of 2 market-based programming for WASH pilots within our portfolio. And as such, I participate in the technical working group as well.
Thank you very much, Annika. Deborah, you will be next.
Thank you, Alex, and hi, everyone. I'm glad to see you participating and attending this webinar. I'm Deborah Bonucci, and I'm the WASH advisor for British Red Cross. Together with Ludovic, since the beginning of the technical working group, I'm the other co-chair, and I'm pleased that we are presenting the achievement of the activity and the plan for the next year as part of the activity of the technical working group. Thank you, and enjoy this webinar.
Thank you, Deborah. Finally, it's myself, Alexander Oese from the Austrian Red Cross. I'm the WASH advisor here based in headquarters in Vienna. And yeah, I'm also part of the technical working group since the beginning. And it's my pleasure to host this or to facilitate this meeting today. All right, without further ado, we will jump right into the presentation of our yearly report. I hand over to you, Ludovic.
Thank you, Alexander. So, as you might know, the Cash and WASH Technical Working Group was created and started in October 2020 with members from various national societies, IFRC and ICRC. 2021 was a year of great achievements by all its members. The yearly report is presenting the progress and the work done by its members. The report and the video presenting the achievements are available on the Technical Working Group website and through the links in this presentation. This report includes elements about the membership of the Technical Working Group and how the information is shared internally among the group. This also includes the main reference documents and how the information was disseminated externally, including the coordination within and outside the movement. There is also a presentation of specific activities, such as the survey to the National Society that was done, the mapping and development of case studies, the training on market-based programming for WASH, and the roadmap development. In this webinar, we will not go through all the details, but mainly go through the main achievements. And if you want to know more, please have a look at the dedicated report. Membership and way of working. So the membership of this Cash and WASH Technical Working Group include at the beginning 11 members from 4 national societies, IFRC and ICRC. Mid-2021, after the survey to the national societies and the different webinars, the group was extended to 22 members from 10 national societies, IFRC and ICRC. As the members are coming from all around the globe, a dedicated team channel hosted by IFRC was used to ensure access anytime to the participant. We have also used participatory tools such as MyRobot for the subgroup works. We have also a monthly meeting on the first Thursday of each month where an update is provided to all the members about the progress of all activities from the subgroups and from the co-chairs. At the time, the work was organized under 3 identified work streams. The first one, knowledge sharing and gathering. The second one, guideline and training programs on WASH and CVA. And the last one, implementation and partnership. Then the work of the technical working group has started by the development of main reference documents. So the first document is the term of reference of the technical working group. So a second version was done in June 2021, taking into consideration the feedback from the cash peer working group. The second document has been a one-page document explaining in short the technical working group. This document has been produced in English, French, Spanish, and Arabic, as you can see on the left slide. The third document was quite important document. What does cash mean for WASH outcome? So this document is intended for both WASH and cash practitioners, as well as program manager who want to know and to understand and explore how cash and voucher assistance can support WASH outcomes. It is also produced in English, French, Spanish, and Arabic. These three documents will give you a good idea of the objectives and activities of the technical working group. All are available on the Cash and WASH Technical Working Group website, and also when you will have access to the presentation on the icons. One important part of the work of this technical working group is to ensure that the information is available widely to all the national societies. The first way to share information is through three different websites. The first one is a dedicated website created by the technical working group, where you can find information about the technical working group, such as the past minutes, the list of members, the document mentioned in the previous slide, and most importantly, the outputs of the technical working group. You will have also access to various resources, such as publication, guideline, list of websites, training, and upcoming events. There is also contact and frequently asked questions section where you can ask a question and consult all previous questions answered. The second website is a dedicated Cash and WASH page on the Cash Hub portal. This page contains the most important document on Cash and WASH. The last one is also a dedicated page on WhatsApp Mission Assistant, which include key elements related to Cash and WASH. So all these three websites are complementary. The link to these three websites are in the chat box if you want. The second channel of information dissemination is through webinar like we are doing today. So in 2021, we have 3 times the same webinar at different time zone and different language to present the technical working group and the document produced, like the What Does Cash Mean for WASH outcome. We have also one induction webinar in July to present in details the technical working group to the new member. And also we had one webinar through Skybird, which is a regional WASH networking and capacity development program in East Africa. The coordination is also very important within and outside the movement to stay up to date to the latest development on cash and voucher assistance. The coordination with the movement includes coordination with the cash peer working group, with the WASH advisor on quarterly basis, and dedicated meeting with the regional WASH colleagues from MENA, Africa, and Americas region. The external coordination includes participation to the Global WASH Cluster Technical Working Group, to the Menstrual Hygiene Management in Emergency Technical Working Group, and the Regional WASH in Emergency Coordination Group in Asia Pacific. As mentioned before, we will not go through all the achievements for a question of time, and you can have access to the detail in the full report. Here is the list of activities that we will not go through in details. The survey the survey to the national societies, the mapping on 5 case studies under development, the market-based programming for WASH e-course, and the roadmap development that will be more discussed in the next part. Over back to you, Alexander.
Thank you very much, Ludovic. I directly hand over to, I think, Deborah, right?
To me, I'll pick it up from here. Thanks.
Annika, sorry.
Yeah. So we have been working on the development of a roadmap for the period of 2022 until 2024, with the overall objective to strengthen the movement WASH practitioners' understanding and adoption of using CVA and market-based approaches in WASH interventions. That's the overall objective. The formulation of the roadmap and the planning was done through a process of consultations between August 2021 and February 2022. So being in March 2022, we're happy to present you the results. The pillars you heard before, they stay the same. So the first pillar will be focused on knowledge and sharing, second pillar, guidelines and trainings, and third pillar, implementation and partnerships. And also we define 2 enabling actions. Logically, one is resource mobilization, and the second one being learning and adaptation. And as a result, the 3 pillars and the 2 enabling actions led us to identify 9 different specific work streams, sub-work streams. And each of these work streams has its own terms of reference, timing, members, meetings, frequency of meetings, and specific objectives that we defined. So 9 work streams. We're an ambitious bunch. I'll talk you through the work streams from now on. And you can also consider it as an invitation to reflect on whether you'd be interested to join one of the working groups that focuses on particular work streams. So let's move to the first one. This first work stream is focused on the state of the knowledge on CVA for WASH outcomes. It will be a thematic watch on evidence-based case studies, project documents from the movement and outside of the movement. And this workstream focuses on reviewing them, identifying those that are good for further sharing, and providing the identified documents to the communication workstream. And as you can see, for each workstream, there's an icon, a money icon at the upper right corner. And this means that in this case, there's no budget needed to implement this work stream, but for some, we are in need of a budget. In this case, it's only members' time availability. Let's move to the second work stream, which is complementary to the first work stream, with the objective to produce more knowledge through the development of new case studies or support evaluation of projects. And the activities will include the identification of potential countries, a specific terms of reference definition. A consultant will be focusing on this. We will enter a whole trajectory of follow-up and reporting around that. And we will, in the end, be communicating the materials that were gathered in the case study to the communication work stream. And as you can see that to implement this work stream, we will need funding. You can see in the money icon at the top right. And then the third work stream is an important part of the technical working group, since it focuses on communication. We will be further defining the communication strategy as a first, including a section on advocacy. There's much information to be shared. So what is the best approach, how to do it, who to involve. We have several websites, as you already saw, and production of the yearly report. The specific part of the communication with the Cash Hub and the Cash Beer Working Group will be continued by the co-chairs. And later on, we'll explain you a bit more about the setup of the people in the working group. And we have find a specific work stream focused on the webinar, like the one we're doing today. This work stream focuses on developing those. Activities include updating on the technical working group's activities, focus on increase of membership, and provision of technical webinars at a regional level. And this is including the preparations, invitations, identification of speakers, etc. All that's involved in setting up a good webinar. Then, in line with this, the fifth work stream focuses on training. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of activities defined under this work stream. First of all, also a definition of a further training strategy, a review of the existing or the competency framework. A cash and wash training has been developed It will need to be reviewed more, specified more, and we want to develop training pathways for different profiles, identify appropriate trainers to run the trainings and the training of trainers based in different regions. The training, we aim to provide it through remote, but also through face-to-face training. So a lot comes with setting up those trainings in a good and constructive way. In addition, we want to support the development of cascading trainings, meaning support to National Society, HQ colleagues to roll out trainings to branch level, support National Societies in development of a mentorship scheme. So really active work stream this will be. Then let's move on to the guidelines work stream. This is complementary to the first work stream in the sense that this work stream focuses on doing a desk review of existing guidelines and then the development and dissemination of guidelines to the specific context of the Red Cross movement. Review existing guidelines, adapting them, and develop new ones if needed. Then we have another big component of our work streams. It's about the development of pilot projects, and this includes coming up with a guide, a how-to guide on how to set up pilot projects. A pilot project is about discovering new knowledge. So where do we have our knowledge gaps? In that sense, this workstream will engage with the case study group as well to identify where those pilots can focus. The how-to guide will need to be disseminated and proposals need to be developed and relevant partnerships. And then it comes down to implementation and documenting the pilot projects. Lots to do in this ambitious work stream as well. And as a result of all the work, we want really to disseminate the findings across all regions we work in all relevant languages. So work stream 8 focuses on language and design. And it's really about making access to wider audience for the outputs of our work. And we really have the ambition to be more inclusive and give access to all parts of the world. That's why, for example, now we're also doing automatic translation to Spanish, French, and Arabic. And this workstream will focus on coordinating the translation of the documents and webinars in several languages, but also if you are design-minded, coordination with the designer in the setup of our documents, in the design of our documents. And then last but not least, our 9th work stream will focus on setting up a help desk. First of all, the interesting focus will be to map the existing technical support resources, establishment of linkages and roles and responsibilities for that support, and then really finalization of the design of a referral system and dissemination of that. That's all for the part of the work stream for the moment. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box and we will keep it for the end and then we'll take a look at them. And now let's move on to the organization of the technical working group membership.
Thank you, Annika. I hand over to Deborah.
Thanks, Alex, and thanks, Annika, for the great presentation of the workstream activity. So as you can see, we have quite an ambitious plan for the next years to come for the activity of the technical working group in terms of cash and wash. So to deliver according to this plan, we thought that we needed a strong organization and structure of the technical working group to enable the member to participate actively and provide support to implement the roadmap multi-year plan. So in the picture, you can see the proposed organization of the technical working group membership. And as you see, the technical working group is made of individuals with expertise and knowledge of cash and voucher assistance and market-based programming, and can preferably be specialized in WASH, because obviously this is the subject that we would like to strengthen using cash voucher assistance and market-based programming. So the members are all members that they have an interest and they are determined to contribute significantly to the group activity, both with their expertise, their time, and the time dedicated to the group task. And as Annika said, we would like to have as much as possible representation from the Red Cross movement, Red Cross Crescent movement. So the membership must represent an appropriate mix of members from the IFRC, ICRC, and the National Society across the movement. And then we would like also aiming to have a good geographical spread as much as possible to represent the different regions where IFRC and the Red Cross movement is working. Obviously, the membership from National Society that are already implementing and they have strong interest in cash and WASH will be prioritized. From each group member, it is expected to dedicate time to the technical working group activity, and these need to be balanced with their existing working schedule. And we will encourage to have a meaningful contribution each month to improve and advance the technical working group activity, particularly the activity related to the 9 work streams that Annika just presented to you. So each member is expected to join dedicated meetings. We have steering committee, coordination meeting, and to complete their own contribution and also reading of the technical guidance, attend work stream working group related activity. And we have estimated that this is, average each month is a minimum on 1 day per month for each member that would like to join and support the activity of the technical working group. As you can see in this diagram, as part of the membership, we have identified 2 different tiers, Tier A and Tier B. And Tier A is meant for members that are particularly motivated to take responsibility in the technical working group, take responsibility as part of the work stream. And the Tier A member will also be part of the steering group of the technical working group. Is a dedicated group that is leading and steering the activity of the group. And later on, I will explain more in detail. Tier B member type will only be involved in the activity of the working stream, but will not be part of the steering group and taking decision on, for example, focal point and have responsibility for the group work of the working stream. Next slide, please. Okay, this is more in detail of the 2 levels of membership. We start with the Tier A membership. As I say in the previous slide, the Tier A membership are members of the steering group, and they could be they are the co-chair, the coordinator, and the focal point of the work stream. So co-chair, coordinator, and focal point of the work stream are member Tier A membership. The focal point can have only responsibility for 1 work stream. Obviously, Tier A member, they need to have a strong motivation to become co-chair, because the co-chair are on a rotational annual basis and will be rotating between the member of the Tier A membership. So active in work stream group work, and this means to regular attendance, the work stream meeting and leading on that. As well, it is required to have an active involvement in the steering group member, again with regular attendance of the steering group meeting, active support, proactive support of the activity, development of plan for each of the work streams that are related to them, and as well provide support on monitoring to the progress of the work stream works and assuring that all the activity and the work is on track based on the timeline that will be established. We think and we estimated that the minimum commitment on the medium long term is 1 year because obviously we have activity related to the work stream. So we are requiring at least minimum 1 year commitment to enable the meaningful implementation of the activity. And as well, Tier A member will be participating to the quarterly cash and wash technical working group meeting. Then in terms of Tier B membership, they are member of 1 or 2 work streams. So the Tier B membership, they can select one or two of the 9 work stream that has been just presented, and they can contribute as a working group to that activity. They cannot be a focal point of any work stream, as this is the difference with the Tier A. So a Tier A responsibility can be focal point and leading of the work stream. Tier B, they can only be member contributing to the work. So they are active in the work stream work, and obviously are required to regularly attend the work stream meeting as part of the 1 or 2 work stream that the Tier B member decided to join. And obviously also participation to quarterly cash and wash technical working group meeting. Next slide. Okay, this is related to the organization of the steering group. As I say, the member of Tier A are also member of the steering group. And in this slide, you can see bullet points that provide you more detail on what are the roles and the responsibility of the member that are part of the steering group. As we say, there is a composition of 2 co-chairs that are rotating on an annual basis and are part of the member that belong to the Tier A membership, as you saw in the previous diagram. We have a coordinator, and in the steering group, we have all the focal points for the 9 work stream. And this is important because we need coordination, we need update on the work that the 9 work stream are implementing. As I say, the member of the steering group will be rotating co-chair and obviously committing to their time to support this important function. The co-chair and coordinator cannot be focal point of the work stream, and only Tier A member can join the steering group, as we say before. And they are responsible for providing a strategic direction to the roadmap and overview the activity, but as well the financial management. As Annika presented to you, there are some activity, some of the work stream required some financial contribution. So there will be fundraising, joint fundraising, and resource mobilization. So there will be also, as part of the steering committee, responsibility on the allocation of financial resources, and as well monitoring how these resources are allocated for the implementation of the activity of the 9 work stream. As well, there will be a responsibility on monitoring, setting quarterly objective, setting milestone and target, and making sure that these milestone and targets are met according to the progress and the timeline that has been established for each of the work stream. And obviously, the member of the steering group, they make decision on the priority. Obviously, this will be done in consultation with other members, but then overall, there will have responsibility for the priority and making sure that these are met on time. Next, okay, thank you. So I talk about the co-chair responsibility. These are members that are selected as part of the steering group, and as part of their role and their function is external representation and coordination. For example, the co-chair, we will have contact and the coordination with the focal point, the cash focal point at regional level and the country level, and then ensuring that the activity are well communicated and explore coordination, possible further coordination with the cash focal point and the cash activity in the region. As well, the co-chair, they attend the quarterly cash peer working group, and during this cash peer working group, the different sector like health, shelter, wash, attend and they provide updates on the progress of their technical working group activity. So this is an opportunity to be part of the CWG and provide an update. As well, as part of the IFRC, there are a WASH advisor technical working group. So the co-chair will be participating at the technical working group of the WASH advisor and provide update on the progress of the activity and establish a relation with other national society that might not be represented as part of the technical working group. As well, we have the Cash app and then coordination for the update. We have a dedicated page. Probably we have already shared the link to the Cash and WASH page. So we have a direct coordination with the Cash app team, and anytime that there is a new update, a new document is uploaded in the main website of the technical working group. As well, this page is updated on the Cash app. As well, overall, the co-chair will have the responsibility to ensure that everything is well on track, the activity are implemented according to the timeline. And obviously, this is a new structure, will need to be tested. As we say, we have this new 9 work stream, and we review the structure based on the workload, and based on the structure and the coordination that we are requested to do. Obviously, in a 6 months basis, we will review and we will check if the structure that has been put in place does the job, and in case we will get feedback from the member, and in case we need to adjust the structure, we need to adjust the membership, we will include this adjustment. Okay. As we mentioned, as part of the steering group, we are proposing to have a coordinator role, and the coordinator responsibility, obviously, with the new roadmap development and the 9 work stream, there will be a lot of follow-up in coordination. So the roles of the coordinator will be to have an internal coordination as part of the steering group, because the technical working group is increasing in size. We will have new member, we have more work due to the 9 work streams. So we decide, and we are advocating to have a coordinator, at least initially as a part-time position. So the main responsibility of the coordinator will be internal coordination for the steering group, interaction with the different work stream, focal point, and this is to making sure that everyone is on the same page and there is coordination, because as Annika presented, there are some of the work stream that they have linkages, interconnection. So making sure that the communication is well shared among the member, and this will facilitate the implementation of the work. We will have an administrative role, looking at the meeting invitation, reporting, and disseminating and sharing throughout our system. And we have, at the moment, our communication as part of the website, but as well, we have a team page where we communicate and we provide any update to all the members. And ensure that all the focal points provide their update, and we will develop a form, a project where this will be the point where all the focal points for each of the work stream will provide that update, and the coordinator will make sure that each focal point will do that on a regular basis. And then we will have, as we say before, we will have quarterly meeting, and the coordinator will be chairing this meeting. Okay, thanks. Okay, organization of the work stream, as Annika presented the 9 work stream. All the work stream, we will have the same organization. As part of the competition, as we say, there will be 1 focal point for tier A and several members contributing to the work of this work stream as part of the tier B membership. Medium-term commitment for the focal point, we were talking at least 1 year in order to ensure that the activity that has been initiated as part of their work stream is completed, and there is proper follow-up. And the focal point for 1 work stream cannot be a member of another work stream, but a member from tier B membership can be a member of 2 work streams. Maximum 2 work stream. It can be 1 or can be 2, depending on the interest and time availability of the member of the tier B membership. The focal point for each of the work stream that is allocated will be responsible for organizing regular internal meeting. It will decide the frequency, the timing, and for that specific work stream. And then it will update the coordinator on the activity progress. The focal point, together in consultation with the other member of the work stream, will be responsible for setting up objectives, the deliverable that are agreed by the steering group. And as I said before, we are planning to develop a small mini project template where it's a sort of term of reference that describes the objective of the work stream, the deliverable, the timeline. And this is a sort of project management of this mini project for the work stream. And this is to make sure that all the activities are implemented following a specific timeline, milestone, and targets. Then the focal point, as we say, from Tier A membership being part of the steering group meeting, will attend the steering group meeting and will provide update and report of the activity for their work stream activity. And this will be on a monthly basis. So I hope this presentation so far today has a positive impact of you, and I'm sure it raised your interest to be part of this technical working group. Very active and ambitious, and we look forward to see you more engaging with us. Ensure, first of all, before joining the technical working group, please ensure that you discuss internally your participation to the technical working group, Cash and Wash, with your Wash and Cash technical advisor at your national society, and you have the support for joining this activity. You can apply to the technical working group through the working group website, and the link will be provided in a follow-up email after the webinar. Okay, thank you. So why should you join, and what is the benefit of your national society? Federation, as part of the localization agenda, more and more is considered and identified a global cash leader in cash, and is sorry. If you okay, yeah, thank you. And is sorry, if you can, yeah, thanks. And is one of the flagship for IFRC is global cash leadership. So by 2025, 50% of the operation of the humanitarian assistance will be delivered using cash and virtual assistance. And by 2025, 100 national society should become cash ready. As well, by 2025, 100% of IFRC office will be cash ready to support the national society. So very ambitious mission and vision, and we would like that as well. Cash and Wash be part of this travel. So Cash and Wash will be adapting and will be part of this flagship ambition of the IFRC. So the technical working group can support you and your national society to engage more and faster. For example, we can provide you advocacy, talking point that you will need to discuss with your senior leadership to explain why it's important to be part of the Cash and Wash technical working group. And then obviously there will be the possibility to develop and sharing good practice, lesson learned, case study that will be shared through the website of the technical working group. We provide access to internal guidelines, but as well external guidelines, training, development of training, and again, there is the possibility as well to adapt the training to the local context, and as well including market-based programming of the Global Wash Cluster for emergency wash online training. And then, as Annika said, we are going to implement and develop a pilot study. Please, for more information, just ask us, and you can contact via the contact us page on the Cash and Wash technical working group page. Now, before closing, we have another poll. We have other questions. We have two questions. Why? The first question is if if you can let us know if you are interested to be part of the technical working group, to join the technical working group as a new member, and as well, which tier do you want to join? Okay, yes, thanks, Alex. You can see the poll and you have time to answer. We have 7 participants that answer. Okay, great. We have 1 participant that would like to join the TRA group. Yeah, thank you and well done.
I closed the poll. I think it's not moving anything.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Alex. Yes, thanks for your question. We have 3 out of 7 of the participants that attended the group. Yes, they are interested to be part of the Cash and Wash technical working group, and obviously they will discuss first with their technical advisory. 4 out of 7 they don't know yet, and please take your time. And then we have out of 7, 1 expressed interest to join Tier A membership, and 6 member the Tier B membership. Please, you will have time as well to provide this information and joining us through the and reach us through the contact us form, and then replying to the follow-up email after the webinar. Okay, we are reaching the end of the webinar. I think we have still some minutes, and we can go through some of the questions. And if you have any question related to the session that has been presented by Ludovic, Annika, or the session on the structure, please, if you can submit your question through the chat box.
We already have 1 question from Sarah about the trainings that were mentioned. So Cash and Wash trainings, if there is a timeline when they are going to be rolled out, and whether these trainings are supposed to be online or or face-to-face. Maybe I would just answer this question quickly. Yes, there is a timeline, and as far as I know, they are mainly for the coming year. There are mainly online trainings that are being prepared. So for 2022, but then for 2023, as far as I know, the training group is speaking about organizing also face-to-face training. If I'm right, maybe my colleagues from the technical working group can correct me if I did anything, if I gave a wrong answer.
Yeah, just allow me. You didn't give a wrong answer. Just to be more detailed, the face-to-face training will mainly be organized through regional level in coordination with the Cash and the Wash coordinator from the different region, or through different PNSs, because the difference, as you know, the difference between online and face-to-face training is we need to have budget to do that. So that's also linked to this COVID situation that we didn't plan for this year, the face-to-face, at least for Asia Pacific region. Over.
Well, that's actually a good point to raise the budget. So Sarah, if you have any budget to organize a face-to-face training, we are more than happy to do one even earlier, probably.
Alex, if I can also complement, thanks.
Sure.
As well, the training that we develop is a foundation training for market-based programming for emergency wash, and this is like a prerequisite for joining the Global Wash Cluster market-based programming training that has been transferred on an online platform. As part of the technical working group, as you saw from the presentation, we interact a lot also with the external partner, like the partner of the Global Wash Cluster. So there is the possibility to adapt this training for the Global Wash Cluster for the Red Cross Movement partner. So there is another opportunity. We don't know if this will be possible this year, but probably in the near future could be one of the things that we can look at as well. Thanks.
Okay, I hope this answers your questions, Sarah. If you have any more specific questions, you can get in touch with us and discuss the details. Are there any more questions from anyone? If not, then we are reaching the end of the webinar. The recording and the documentation of this webinar will be shared on the Technical Working Group website, and also the questions that came up in this webinar, but also in the ones for the other time zones, they will be also addressed in the website too. We will not send out a follow-up email with all the questions, but you can find all the questions and the answers on the website, where we have a specific FAQ section. Please keep in your agenda that the next meeting of the Technical Working Group will be on 7th of April. And as some of you indicated that you would be interested in joining the Technical Working Group, it would be great if you can join us on 7th of April, which is next week. We will share the invitation to the meeting to all new member requests. So if you request to be member of the Technical Working Group, we will send you an invite to the meeting. And then I hope to see many of you there next week. Thank you very much for your participation. Gracias and goodbye.